All right, there we go. I don't know why she had it in portrait mode, but it is what it is. All right, so we're watching this. Hopefully she'll be okay with it. We're just gonna watch this and see what kind of what we can glean from it. So thank y'all so much for being a part of the best live chat on the internet. There's 130 of y'all watching. Can y'all please go ahead and help a brother out and hit that like button? That'll help out a whole lot. You can hit that little green heart when you do. When you hit the like button, just go ahead and flood the chat with your green hearts. That let us know that we got it. All right, here we go. Let's bring this in. Y'all check it out. Let's go.
Fields. Thank you. Okay, so she's an independent candidate, I think. She just gave me this card. Hi, Stephanie. Cassie. Napoleon is in here. They'll be starting in about 5 minutes. It's channel 5 right here.
Wow, they get the big camera in there.
So it's supposed to be Napoleon, Nate, and Richard Nolan, and I guess this lady. But it's only 3 chairs set up, so I don't think Napoleon is coming.
Remember, Napoleon wants to be your supervisor. Okay, I don't know where it starts.
Rocking a Jordan 1s.
Candidate.
Oh, right in?
Mm-hmm. For super.
Oh, I didn't know she was right in. Okay.
No problem. Let's do that before we start. Yes, good question. Good question. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Get ready to get started.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
You're a little bit quiet. You might be hard to hear because we got the fan going too.
I'm a little bit quiet.
Yeah. Especially about the fan noise.
Maybe go a little bit closer to Richard. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Move the mic closer to them.
You just gotta twist that knob right there and slide the pole up.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff. You know,
Nate know about that communication stuff.
All right, it looks like they're getting settled in. So I agree with you, Lady Luck Club. Napoleon should have been here. But I got a text from somebody who's a supporter of the community there, and they made a great point. They said this was much more of this was a good community forum, not really a township forum. And I think that's kind of true. I think there's a lot more community aspects than township. Remember, like there's 17 townships. I'm sorry, 17 towns in this township. Okay, if he has been, I mean, that'd be great, but I just think a lot of people would want to see it. But again, we're just kind of like the observers, so I ain't mad at him.
Should we switch seats? Me and you? Can we switch seats? I'm on a weird angle.
I don't know what town this was in.
It's gonna be weird.
No, but the glare is making it kind of weird.
No, what you should do is move over that way so you can get more of these people. Like move over. Like that way, if not, then not just switch.
Maybe I should move right there.
No, because then you're gonna be in the middle.
I think you're right.
Get on top.
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse.
I didn't see that coming.
First row.
What a
right
free
there.
concert.
First row.
Now I got the song in my head.
Right there. That's going to be weird.
Then I might get over there. And that's just right here. I might move it front like that so I can take some pictures.
Okay.
Come on with it.
These are the three that are here. I think it is a little better. Thank you. A little. Huh? Ooh.
We're gonna have to take a song break, man. Get the song out my head now, dog. Dang, man. You start. You start, Ruben. You go ahead and start. Because y'all don't want to hear me singing.
Voice mic here. Change the mic.
So yeah, it's the Republican candidate, Richard Nolan in the middle, Nate Fields. And then I guess she's a write-in, I understand. I'm just meeting her today.
You all are welcome to do whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you
You think that'd be a good shot? Let me see. I'm gonna try to move my seat, try to get up. Sorry. I'm actually gonna move too. Everybody moving. Let me see. No, that glare. This ain't better. This is not better. She's sitting right in that glare, so let me go back. Sorry, y'all. Look at Nate.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that mic is a little closer. Give me a little.
Testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Better? Not try.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
A little better. Testing, 1, 2, 3. That's better than what it was.
Hey, Shalita. Jedediah, Brittany.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right.
I really was hoping Maple would be here.
Yeah, for some reason your voice is really strong. I hear you.
Hey, Ernestine. So he's kind of, I think, gonna be.
I'm gonna just try to move a little forward, see if I can just move it, so we're not just kind of watching them get set up.
Mr. Nate Fields, Mr. Richard Nolan, and
Okay, I think I caught it.
write-in candidate, Ms. LaShante Walton, who is here. Could we please give them a round of applause for coming? Gratitude to you all. All right, we are going to start this form. It will go in this fashion. Each candidate will be asked a question. The same question actually. Each candidate will be given 3 minutes to answer the question. Could I please have someone on timer as well? For me, thank you. Each candidate will be given 3 minutes to answer the questions. The only time that they will be given maybe 3 to 5 minutes is when it is a 2-part question or more. All right? We will go in this fashion. If we were to start with Mr. Fields, Mr. Richard Nolan would go next, Ms. Walton would go, and then we would start with Ms. Walton and work our way back down, just back and forth to keep it simple. All right? Here we go.
Richard Nolan should go first sometimes too, though, with that order.
One more thing.
He should
ladies
always
and
go
gentlemen.
after someone.
The categories that we will be addressing in this forum are taxes, fiscal management and expansion. I will say that again. The categories that we will be addressing in this forum are taxes, fiscal management and expansion, transparency, infrastructure and beautification, revitalization, and new developments. Here we go. Mr. Fields, question number 1, taxes. Multiple municipalities in the Township of Thornton have had substantial property tax increases. What is your intended goal to keep residents in their homes with little to no impact on their property taxes?
So first off, taxpayers are not an unlimited source of money. We have to remind people that taxes coming into Thornton Township should play a role that benefits our community's safety. I think that a lot of the issues that face our community are around violence. Our youth are underserved. There's a lot of gun violence, a lot of fights. A lot of our young women have kids and children. They're single mothers, so they're working a lot of the times. But as supervisor, we should focus on creating job opportunities. Now, there are ways that we can create job opportunities through programs and grants, but we should focus more on creating job opportunities for our youth so that they become financially independent. And as long as we have more workers in our community, of course, we have businesses that are staying in operation. As long as we keep our businesses, we're able to grow more and expand with businesses. And then as long as we can expand and create and bring in more businesses, we can lower the tax burden on our homeowners. So I intend as supervisor to develop a entrepreneurial program to help bring in more businesses for our community, thus bringing more employment into our community to help alleviate the tax burden on our homeowners. Do I got more time? Additionally, I'd like to work to secure more grants and partnerships to upgrade our community centers and parks. Let's see. Let me take notes. Oh, we definitely have to fight against unnecessary tax increases. Okay. Our goal is to identify cost-saving measures, eliminate inefficiencies, and use tax funds wisely so we can lower the tax burden while still maintaining essential services.
Here's your 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Mr. Nolan, same question. You need to read it again.
Let me say this, that in the South Suburban Corridor, it's been reported in every major news outlet that we have the highest property taxes. The Thornton Township is a large social service agency. When you deal with municipal law, you have 4 different entities that raise local levy taxes, which is your school board, the library board, the city, and the park district. These 4 entities can levy taxes to raise taxes within your community. When it comes down to the township, the national median rate for the national township is 1.02%. And the Thornton tax rate is 3.79%. We have the highest taxes than any other township. Now, we know the problem. What is the solution? The solution is you have to maximize your tax dollars. So what we created, the People's Choice for Change, is called the 50-50 program. That 50% of all contractual and vendor services will come out of the 17 communities. That helps to stimulate the economy and ease some of the tax burdens. So can you imagine that with this ordinance that can make a huge difference, because now we'll put the people in the Thornton Township to work. So those contractual jobs, those vendor services will be a tremendous asset, and then we're starting to maximize our tax dollars. Number 2, we want to emulate and imitate some of the other large cities. If you live in Chicago, you work in Chicago, so they have a resident employment ordinance. We would do the same thing. Through legislation, through the board, we would pass the 50-50 contracted vendor services ordinance. They're not going to benefit off of our tax dollars. A lot of them come from Indiana, a lot of them come from Chicago. We're going to eat off the biscuit wheels off that train, and we're going to make ourselves a priority in the 17 communities. Thank you.
Ms. Walton?
Yes, in focusing on the taxes, one of the main things that I think that we need to consider is the economic development. We have a lot of vacant properties here in the Southland. Properties that have been sitting on the tax logs for years, and property that we can get citizens and organizations operating in. And I would like to have that put to good use for the purpose of reducing the taxes for the citizens overall. As Mr. Richard just mentioned, we do have an issue with a lot of outsiders coming into the Southland area who are not necessarily residents of the 17 municipalities of Thornton Township, and they're not paying into the taxes here. So my goal is to actually work with various organizations who are already planted here in Thornton Township as a way of working with them so that they can help with providing tax incentives as their businesses grow, so that the taxpayers of the homes would not be burdened with as much of a hardship as it relates to their taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walton. The next question, Ms. Walton, we will start with you. What laws, ordinances, or policies will you institute to protect lifelong residents from being pushed out and displaced from their homes via gentrification, privatization, and metropolitan forms of government?
Yes, so my background is in social services, case management, and I have been working with the state of Illinois for several years prior to taking on this role of running for the Thornton Township Supervisor position. And we are fully aware that all of those things exist. It is my goal to work with Springfield as well as our governor and the Congress and to help find affordable housing options that are available to our seniors and lifelong residents of the Southland, with the hope of actually helping them to stay in their homes. Of course, as we've mentioned before with the tax situation, we do have certain bills and services that allow the seniors to actually receive the tax benefits. However, even over and beyond that, as we see the progress of the Southland growing, I would like to allow everyone to actually be able to stay in place. So my goal would be to work with the government in order to find other options for them to be able to stay in their homes and not be shoved out as it relates to the housing.
Brittany, she's a write-in. That's what this is.
The crux of the matter is jobs. Jobs, jobs, jobs. If you don't have no income, you're going to end up losing your house and your property. One of the things that I would like to see, and what I have already done, is to have a job fair, a yearly job fair, and that we collaborate with Ann Gore. She's the Commerce Director for the state of Illinois, and we hook up with the Chamber of Commerce. With these three different entities that we bring to the township, then that will be able to get our community involvement. The business community will come to the township and they can interview and they can put people back to work. You have to have leadership that has a vision that can be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Massive job fair, I held one of the largest job fairs in Riverdale. with these same departments, Department of Commerce, Department of the Chamber of Commerce. We had over 300 people that came out, and we were able to provide some jobs. That is a cross-cut situation. Entrepreneurship, we want to be able to support that. We may want to look at the township and some of the funding to help support any program that's going to get our people back to work. So we have a lot of work to do. I think it's being able to collaborate on the state level, collaborate on the city level, and also collaborate in the county level. So thank you.
Mr. Fields,
Could you repeat the question, please?
what laws, ordinances, or policies will you institute to protect lifelong residents from being pushed out and displaced from their homes via gentrification, privatization, and metropolitan forms of government?
Metropolitan, see, a lot of this stuff is new to me, so. I heard about what happened in the city of Harvey, where residents were displaced from their homes because of some water fountain that was supposed to be prepared. But I feel like no one should ever be displaced from their home if they want to stay in their home. You know, these residents build their whole livelihoods around these, you know, their homes, and they have families. And for them to be displaced, I think there should be an initiative for Thornton Township is a safe haven for situations like this. We should be able to accommodate anyone displaced from their home, whether it's providing somewhere for them to stay temporarily or helping them out, helping them find a job. But we have to see what we can do as far as the jurisdiction of why they're being displaced. If they get enough time to get up out of it, what the reason is. We have to look deeper into the reason. But off the top of my head, I don't have any ordinances or laws prepared to protect, but I'm willing to work with our local government agencies and constituents in the community to figure out a solution, because that is something that we need to figure out, because that was the first time that I've ever heard anyone being displaced from their home. And I didn't even think that that was a possibility. But that should never happen in any case, ever. So.
If I can, you know, add to what he's saying, one of the things that we can do is we can work with the Cook County Land Bank. They have untold thousands of property across these 17 communities. What I would suggest is that we look at the tip dollars in each of these communities and collaborate, and people that's getting back to work, then we could work with them to use those tip dollars to get those homes, to put them back and to rehab those homes. So it's all about putting the right people together at the right place. So if the county has thousands of homes in Harvey, Markham, Dismore, Dalton, and we get with the mayor and said, we want to take those tax dollars and use to reinvest in rehabbing this home, putting people back in those homes, and then they can pay taxes, and that will help the community, you know, as a whole. Thank you.
Can I also add to that?
Yes, you can, Ms. Moore.
I actually participated in the displacement of the residents at Celebrate, which is the senior in a community right behind Thornton Township. There was 230 residents in that building that needed to be placed in other areas once they closed that building down. As a result, we had to find resources through case management providers, different agencies, veteran services, in order to connect them with the residents with hopes of actually helping them to find safe housing. So this is not anything that I've not done in the past. And again, this is not anything that's new to me as a case manager. But my goal is to, like you said, prevent that from happening in the first place. So the sooner we're aware of it, the more as a township we should be able to get ahead of things in order to prevent people from being displaced in the first, you know, if we can avoid it.
Thank you. Mr. Peters, do you have anything
I think that it is important to connect with nonprofit organizations to see if we can provide services for those displaced from their homes. But I do know that in the past there were programs that were connected to Thornton Township that provided services for the homeless and those fresh out of jail, where we would employ them at the local food pantry. But yeah, I think that's very important. And I guess that's I wouldn't say it's a new thing, but to be displaced from your home should just the situation of Harvey alone is that's ridiculous. I'll never want to see that again. But as the supervisor, I'm willing to help whoever is displaced from their home. I don't care who you are. If the mayor put you out or told you had to leave, and there should be something for you, and it should be in due time, and it shouldn't just be something that just happens to you. So.
Thank you very much. We are going to move on to the next category, and that category is transparency. And we'll start with Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields, as the Thornton Township Supervisor, you are fiscally responsible for billions of dollars. What is your transparency policy? This is a two-part question. And how will your transparency policy keep the taxpaying constituents of Thornton Township informed of how and where their money is spent?
It's an important question.
Okay, I've added this to my platform already, but I am creating, as supervisor, we're going to implement a Thornton Township engagement app. Okay, within this app, we'll be able to see and track the spending in real time, as well as other things. But the overall goal is to put the township in the hands of the taxpayers. Okay? There's also going to be an open book policy. So if you're not too tech savvy, you can come to the township and see an updated book provided by the clerk's office. Okay? With the finances directly in it, as well as any contractors that we are contracting. But other than that, that is my plan to prove and push transparency throughout the township.
Mr. Nolan.
Transparency. The board approval the hire of a certified FOI officer, certified freedom of information. When a person's certified, they have to go through certain requirements in order to get that certification. Once we hire this FOIA officer, any resident should be able to come in and give any documents that they want and that they need. And it should not take long, shouldn't take 6 months, shouldn't take a year. They should get a response back. If you put someone there that's accountable, if they don't do the job, you fire them. You get rid of them. Because we have to realize that we are servants of the people, not the people servants of the elected officials. So I would recommend for transparency to hire a certified freedom of information officer. And his job is to make sure and that he meets the needs of the 17 communities. Number two I would like to do is to set up on the platform an advisory board. The Thornton Township Advisory Board will consist of citizens that come to the township, and they will be whether they're Democrat, whether they are independent, or whether they are Republican. The advisory board is to get more community involvement in Thornton Township affairs, because nobody is talking about unifying and coming together. So if you put titles aside, you put Republican to the left, you put Democrats to the right, and you take the independent and you put them straight forward. All of us want goods, services, contracts, and jobs. We all want that. Never allow the title to override policy. We've got to come together as a family and as a whole. The Republicans represent accountability, the Democrat represent transparency, the independent represent oversight, what I call the political trinity. You got three into one. And let me say this. The other opposition, the DOTS organization, have not reached out any program to bring other people involved and included in this process. It's all about me, myself, and I. That is their policy. My administration and the People's Choice for Change is not about me, myself, and I. It's about we, us, and our. And how can we work together as a family and as a whole and as a community? Thank you.
Ms. Walton.
Yes, I believe that in any institution, it is important that you have a budget. I believe that in going into this position as the Thornton Township Supervisor, we need an audit, a forensic audit, that should go back 5 years minimum. There's been a lot of abuse, misuse, and overspending of our tax dollars. Everybody, every tax-paying citizen in Thornton Township deserves to know where their money is going. And I feel like there should be a quarterly report that's given or offered to any and everybody who would like to know where their tax dollars are being spent and how. As the others have stated, it's not a one-man band. It's everybody collectively working together with the trustees, with the community at large, as well as with the administration of Thornton Township to ensure that we are transparent to the fullest and we are opening our hands as it relates to how the money is truly being spent. The records that we have now, I'm fully aware, are not necessarily been fully reported at this point in juncture. So we have to look at systematically every part of the township and get back to the roots of why we even have a township. What is the purpose of the township throughout the entire system? So yes, the budget is a priority, and financial responsibility, they are definitely priorities, but there are so many other systems that we've been very wasteful and very dishonest as it relates to the citizens and how we're spending money. And my goal would be to truly show my hand and allow the citizens to know where we're starting from and where we're hoping to be within the next coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walton. Next question, and we will start with you, Ms. Walton. In the past, many tax-paying homeowners and residents of Thornton Township have complained that they cannot see any evidence of how their tax contributions are being utilized. Many cities lack sit-down restaurants, entertainment spaces, grocery stores with high-quality food, movie theaters, and family-oriented spaces. How do you intend to ensure the residents of the Township of Thornton that their tax contributions are benefiting them with family-oriented places that they can enjoy in their own communities?
Yes, that's a very good question. And having been a resident of Thornton Township, throughout the course of my life, I've seen it at its highs and I've seen it at its lows. And unfortunately, we have had an issue with attracting businesses that want to come and stay. But as the others have mentioned before, and it is still a thing, is we have to have the jobs and we have to have safe housing and safety within the community. So my goal would always be to work with the municipalities. They do have the economic development team that kind of go out and help to facilitate businesses and organizations to come into the communities and with hopes of startups. I mean, again, we've seen some come and some leave, but my goal would be to work with them so that we can provide safe places to come, to dine, to eat. But we also need to get back to a plan. We have traveled, many people have traveled all over the world and have seen where places like the Southland may have started in this particular state where they don't have those things, and they've blossomed. They've actually grown. So it would be good to actually consult with them and to learn what can we do differently in order to attract businesses into our community. So I'm not saying that I have all of the answers, but I'm hoping to be able to get to the table and sit down with individuals who know how to attract these types of operations into our communities. Thank you.
The Thornton Township is a large social service agency. We're not a state representative. We don't work with the House. We are a large social service agency. We work in the capacity of helping you with your mortgage. We help you to rent, burial assistance. We give scholarships. We work with the seniors, making sure they get back and forth to the clinic. Those are the areas in which we work for. If there's a fire, we provide some temporary housing, so there's a variety of services that the township is geared for to help the people within the 17 communities. You don't have to go to the county to get these services because you have these services within your local municipality, within your local community. That's what your taxes are going for, social services. Now, I don't have a problem working with the mayors and managers about having infrastructure as far as putting a team together to attract businesses. We can collaborate in that arena. I think that's a wonderful thing that we could do, to meet with the mayor, say we're gonna have a yearly business forum, we wanna invite people out, and the township can help out and assist in that area. So by me being a municipal official for 4 years for Riverdale, I've been involved and engaged in that arena. So it's not nothing new to me. When I was the vice president for the Board of Education, I served 2 terms. We dealt with jobs and bringing in contractors to come in and to make a difference. And we also worked with the Department of Human Services. And we brought them in, along with myself and Dion, to talk about goods, services, contracts, and jobs. So I would definitely like to work in that arena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
So, over my 14 years of experience at Thornton Township, I've noticed we've had our ups and downs with getting our community engaged as far as the events go. We've held days in the park throughout the summer. We hold a Taste of Thornton Township, which was pretty good. We had movie night on a couple occasions, and at times it was pretty difficult bringing the community out. But working in community relations, I got a chance to see what communities were lacking when it comes to, outings for families to enjoy. One of the things that are part of my platform, like I mentioned before, is the community engagement app. Now, this app will pretty much be for all 17 municipalities, but it will be tailored depending on what city or village you live in. So if you live in Lansing and there's an event in Lansing, our community relations department will have a connect with Lansing on what events are happening. So you'll automatically see that within the app. So you'll know what's going on in your community. Now, if you wanted to jump into the Thornton Township sector and see all events happening within Thornton Township, you can say, hey, Harvey's having a parade. I want to go and support Harvey. You get what I'm getting at? Now, part of my platform as well is to establish a Thornton Township farmers market. I think that would be very beneficial for our community. And I'd like to incorporate a program where homeowners can grow in their own backyards and sell to the farmers market. Of course, there's certain things we have to look into as far as inspections and making sure everybody got what they need, make sure there's no pipes running underneath the soil, stuff like that. But I think that's an opportunity for homeowners to make a little additional money. Although it's not a lot, it can help with some bills. And of course, we can start to help feed each other through nutrition and trade amongst each other. I think it's a step back to what we used to do, but it's a good step. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to see more business attracted to our community. I've added also to my platform a comic convention, a Thornton Township sponsored comic convention. And I'd like for it to be held at River Oaks Mall. Of course, we'll have other people's, other companies and entities sponsoring, but you know, we can't foot the whole bill. But hopefully we can bring more businesses and more people into our community to tour it, because Thornton Township is the largest township in the state of Illinois in terms of population. And we have a lot of people here, but for some reason, it don't seem like it. You know, so we gotta find out ways to engage our community, let them know what we have going on, and bring them out so they can take advantage of the services, the events that we offer.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. We are going to move on to the next category. This is fiscal management and expansion. We will begin with Mr. Fields.
Fiscal management and expansion. Okay.
All right.
Stated before, I will be, as your supervisor, I will be implementing an open book policy. Okay, so all residents can see what type of spending is going on. As far as management, we need a responsible finance director.
Mr. Fields, I have to ask a question.
Oh, I thought you asked it already.
No, I said move to the next category, fiscal management and expansion.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right. No
Why you let me
problem.
go so long?
And I thought you had something.
It was 3
to
minutes
say, so I'm gonna
already.
let you say it, but here we go. All right, here's the question. The CTA or Chicago Transit Authority's red line expansion will undoubtedly raise property taxes in the south suburbs. How will you protect the residents of Thornton Township from imminent property tax increases from the red line expansion?
That wasn't in what you said, man.
That's fiscal management.
CTA, raise taxes. How at Thornton Township, how will we help homeowners alleviate the burden on raised taxes due to the CTA?
Red line expansion, yes.
Thank you, Velvet.
Let me say this, that it's, we have to get with the.
Wait, my turn. Well, we have to sit down and talk to CTA.
Crazy.
I know that the project is going to cost a significant amount of money. I'm pretty sure it's a Cook County thing, with why they're raising these taxes. But Thornton Township has a transportation department. And if there's any way that we can help transport whoever to where, I mean, why not? If we have services, we can offer it. Now, as far as taxes goes with the CTA, honestly, I couldn't tell you the answer for that. Because who can we talk to? We need to sit down and talk to someone in that regard. Next.
It's important that you develop a relationship with your state rep. It's important that you know who your state rep is and who your senators are. They represent you downstate. Don't nothing move unless it's go through downstate. It's important that we can galvanize these 17 communities, say, listen, we want to have a town hall meeting with these representatives. Say, listen, if you do this, we're going to vote you out. The people are suffering enough. You know, they're fleecing us. We're losing our homes. Jobs are gone. You are responsible. So we got to get to Napoleon Harris. We got to get to Thaddeus Jones. You know what I mean? We got to get to Will Davis. Your state reps. They're the ones that's moving that garbage down from Springfield, and it's affecting your community. We've got to, as a people, got to organize and build a strong grassroots organization and say, listen, if you do this, you're out. Because we have to realize that there's a lot of things going on downstate, and people talking not on their behalf, but on the behalf of people that's going to make money. It costs billions of dollars to get this program off the ground, the red line. Who's making the money? Our community's not working. It's a hustle game. It's a three-car molly. You got to make the senator, state reps, and commissioners responsible. And you got to give them that smoke and give them that heat. It's important that when you have leadership, that you know how to make contacts, that you're able to articulate, that you are part of the solution, not part of the problem, because you have a concern. And I always remind politicians, you are servants. But these politicians think that they're celebrities. How did that happen?
Tiffany Henyard is how it
You
happened.
gotta get back to where it was like under Harold Washington. You have to be a servant of the people. And wherever Harold Washington went, he can go into the beauty salon, he can go into the nightclub, he can go into the churches. He was always touchable. These SOBs now are not touchable. You don't even see them. Look at that. You got to find them, put out a search party, get some hound dogs, and know to locate where these people are. Thank you.
Ms. Walton.
Yes, so to, again, kind of piggyback on what, Richard was just saying, it's true. I mean, we have to remain, focused on what we're here for as it relates to, the township. However, because this actually affects us as citizens in the township, there's no other recourse besides speaking with our elected officials and holding them to the line. And saying, hey, you know, you gotta do something about this. Springfield, even if it requires going down, you know, personally, like he was just mentioning about being, actually foots on the ground, you know, you actually going there and actually raising your concerns. But we have a lot of elected officials, that have just not served us well in the past. And so I just really see that it's time for us to, hold them to it. And I think that's gonna be the only way that we can really, have change as it relates to things like CTA, the red line, kind of, raising our taxes and us not actually having, a voice in the fight.
Can I make a comment, please?
Yes, Mr.
I think we should get involved and see if CTA is willing to hire some of our constituents or residents. If not, maybe they will be interested in providing train passes to low-income families. But maybe that's something that we could talk to CTA about, potentially. Especially if they know that the taxes are being raised. Maybe there's some initiatives we can push through. Maybe through our clerk's office, or because our clerk's office holds all the, not necessarily bus passes, but the bus routes. You want tickets to certain things, our clerk's office holds that. So if we can incorporate something where you make under a certain sum of money, maybe you can get a number of train passes per month. And hopefully that would at least alleviate at least a little bit the tax burden on our constituents in Thornton Township. To start.
Mr. Nolan.
Bob Blagojevich, when he was governor, he instituted where seniors could ride free. And these people can make life more pleasant for you, but why should they? It needs to be a clear message sent to Governor Pritzker that the 17 communities will not vote you in when you get ready to run. All that will disappear quickly because you're maximizing the residents and galvanizing. Can nobody get any seat as governor if they don't carry those 17 communities? You got the power, you got the leverage. You just don't have leadership that's able to operate in your best interest. They operate on the best interest of the special interest. So we gotta make it clear, we gotta make it plain. And Robert Blagojevich wasn't a perfect man, but my grandmama loved that free ride. But let me go back. I'm a little bit more sure. I remember when on Sunday you got the super transfer.
Yes.
You
Saturday.
go to the, Sandpiper, they go to, Mr. Ricky, the Dayton game, and we would, that's the way it is, but in all seriousness, the people have to come together, they have to galvanize. You have to put people in office that really represents you and that they advocate on your behalf. How in the hell can you have a representative that don't advocate for who got them in office? We got to reevaluate and not vote blindly to any party. If they're not working with us, give me the hee-ho. Thank you.
So, also, with the transportation system as relates to the red line, identifying where is the transportation issue. I mean, in the Southland, I'm not aware of the transportation issue. There is a corridor that we have that transport utilizing PACE Metro systems with the CTA already. So in expanding the line, I really would challenge to find out what solution are we actually, are we fixing the problem for?
Thank you so much. Next question, and we will start with you, Ms. Walton. The red line expansion will entice new investors and anchor new businesses. What policies are on your mind to implement that will bring and keep those businesses in our 17 municipalities?
We have to incentivize businesses to come to our communities. And with incentivizing them to come to our communities, we have to consider tax breaks. Unfortunately, I believe that that's pretty much what has been traditionally done in other areas. That they do offer the businesses some type of tax break in order to actually come and set up shop in the community. So with that said, it's not all bad if in fact the businesses would come and operate in the Southland, especially considering, like your question that you had earlier, how do we get the businesses in our community in the first place? So if that is a answer to a much needed problem that we're having, then we have to welcome them. We have to be open to working with the organizations that's willing to work with us. And so I would consider tax breaks, and I also would, again, work with our elected officials in order to provide more assistance through grants or any other types of ordinance that we can put in place, which I don't have them manually off top, but in order to prevent citizens who may live in close proximity to the red line location where they can actually get those tax breaks and not have to be forced or pushed out as a result of not being able to maintain their homes and property.
I think that the township could sponsor an entrepreneur business forum, and we're going to have people within the 17 communities to come and to be taught about how to start a business, deal with the budget, the finance, the investment of the business. We do a survey on what's needed in the community, and once we find out what we need in the community, then we would get some grant funding, and the township could sponsor an entrepreneur business forum. I think that would be something that's never happened, but I think we have to be kind of creative in moving the township forward. Number two, I think that we should have a forum with these mayors. We got 17 mayors. Now, only out of 17 mayors, we got to start from the top and work down. Now, I read in the paper the other day that in Dalton, I think the school district 152, that the superintendent makes $500,000 a year.
It's crazy.
$500,000
$500,000.
a year, your tax dollars. and he don't even live here. So
And the students are
that would
family.
not happen in any other community. He makes $500,000, and if the kids was passing and they were doing great, I said, okay, it is what it is. But the kids are studying, declining, and these administrators are top-heavy financially, and on the bottom, you know, you're getting
Jesus,
up
right.
$500,000 a year, and then the woman that the whistleblower, they end up getting rid of her. So now she's trying to fight to get her job back. So I think it's important that we get with all of these governing bodies, whether it's the library board, the park district, the municipality, we got to go and say, hey, you cannot levy any more taxes. People are suffering enough. Let's talk about transportation. We can make arrangements, you know, depending on the liability, to have those living in townships maybe meet close to the city, and then transfer them there to point A to the suburbs. That would be something that have to be a legislative thing by the board and transportation, because we're locally. We don't have that license to go up and down Halsted, you know. So that's something we definitely could work on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Mr. Fields.
Okay, to keep businesses in Thornton Township, I think that a community engagement app would help. At least let residents know what businesses we have, and what restaurants or stores we have inside of Thornton Township. We need some type of a system in Thornton Township that, similar to, like a business bureau, where people can say, hey, I'm looking for some shoes. Do we have anything in Thornton Township that we can go to prior to going outside of Thornton Township to spend money? That way we can keep all of our finances inside of our community. As well as for new business, I think that you kind of hit it on the head, and I had a business idea where we would help young entrepreneurs build their businesses from A to Z and work with local village mayors and city mayors and village presidents to establish a ground for them to operate their business. That way, if we're helping them form their business from A to Z, we can sit them in an establishment where they can start to pay taxes as well. That way we're building businesses and again, alleviating the tax burden on homeowners. But we definitely have to get some way, work with the mayors, the village mayors, and the village presidents and the city mayors to let the residents be known what businesses are out there so that we all know prior to leaving our community, because a lot of businesses are struggling and not making enough money to even pay the taxes. So, if you can't know, you can't contribute, right?
Does anyone have an addendum?
Yeah, I would say that we have more elected black officials in the state of Illinois than any other state. And just keep them on.
Didn't know that.
And you get less. You hire these people and they don't advocate for you. The largest elected officials in any other state is in the state of Illinois. And we have the highest property taxes. Something is wrong. We got to be able to turn that around. And we do that through the ballot box. You got to vote in people that's going to advocate on your behalf, win, lose, or draw, down to Springfield, and your local municipality. These mayors are not working with us, we gotta vote them out. It's the people. Y'all tolerate this. You go up to Glenview, go up to Naperville, go up to Bolingbrook, they don't operate like that. If you don't do what they want, Tom's gonna say, F you, you're out of here, guys. And they gonna move this way. We got to be passive. We got to understand. We got to pacify. We gotta be either gonna cut them up or throw them out. And it's a shame and a disgrace that you got elected officials that's so high and mighty that they can't come into the house of the Lord and talk about some of your concerns. You can't see what time it is? They're high and mighty. And we got to let them know, send them packing. If they left high and mighty, and the good book says that the pride go before destruction. They don't see the rumbling of the ground because they're so high in their pride. So we got to make them a exit out of the Thornton Township. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got something, Ms. Walton?
And to that, sometimes in cutting them out means writing them in. And so you have to know who you are electing into position. And that is, of course, the whole premise of the
and we don't know her.
You have a choice, and you have to use that choice. Again, as it relates to the township, we're dealing more specifically with gap services. When you were working and now you're not working, you're falling through the cracks and you're trying to figure out, what can I do right now? I need assistance now. That's really one of our biggest focus. Like Mr. Nolan said, it's social services. So when you're trying to get from here to there, you want to actually consider the entire person, the entire family, and not just say, okay, well, you know what? Hey, here's a box of food, or here's, a pass to go to the local Walmart and get yourself a pair of shoes. And that's really where I feel like focus-wise, we need to not necessarily just later focus on, but we need to focus enough where we actually are at the foundation of what the purpose of the township is for.
Thornton Township has really great potential. We have so much potential. South Suburban College used to be Thornton Community College. I've never stepped foot in Thornton Community College, but South Suburban College I know about. I think that South Suburban College should be turned back to Thornton Community College. I think that Thornton High School, Thornwood, Thorn Ridge, TF North, TF South, Thornton Community College, the village of Thornton, I believe that we can all create a better community where we can draw in tourists and make them look at this place as like somewhere that they should come and check out. You know what I'm saying?
She's a writer.
That's what I'm pushing for our community. And we got politicians out here that'll completely dupe you. They'll tell you one thing and then completely do the opposite just because they can. Imagine someone getting elected and then stepping down after they get elected and replacing, doing like a backdoor deal and putting somebody else in place. Imagine that. Trust me, it's coming.
Have they been harmed?
I've heard something. So, residents, do your due diligence and do your research, okay? Because they bashing me, and I'm a young whippersnapper. And I didn't think I was a threat, but apparently I am.
Not a whippersnapper.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. We are going to move on to the next category, and we're almost close to wrapping things up. The next category is infrastructure, and we will start with Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields, many of the municipalities of Thornton Township suffer from potholes, dark streets,
Yes.
and little to no beautification from the planting of flowers, trees, and plants. What is your plan for community block and development in those areas?
Well, first off, we got to start at home, okay? Thornton Township, we have five buildings. We have to start at our establishment before we can expand. I do understand there's a lot of potholes throughout various villages, municipalities throughout Thornton Township, but if we can start to beautify our township buildings and beautify the land that it sits on with flowers, everyone knows I love the garden, we can start to, vibrate the place, and kind of show the community, little at a time, how our community could really be. Now, as far as anywhere else besides township roads, we have to see what we can work out with the local villages. I love to go pave a block, okay? Well, actually, over there behind Beggars, that little community, it's terrible. I went over there, it felt like, I couldn't even explain it. I thought my wheel was flat. No, for real. And you can't help but drive. There's no way you can try to dodge a pothole. But, I talked to some of the residents, and I said, I'd like to come back here and help you all out. Because there are people that are using your small community, but not taking care of it. And I think that's messed up. So I would love to go back there behind that Becky's Pizza location and help that community. If it's okay, because I heard that the mayor of Harvey said that it's off limits. Something about that small area is off limits from the city of Harvey. And it's a small, quiet community. Probably like 8 townhouses over there, and seniors over there, and small families. But we need to take care, we do need to take care of our potholes, I agree. But we have to start with Thornton Township and the township roads. I happen to live on a township road, and I would hate for it to get defunded because we have people in those communities that, the city police doesn't patrol down those streets.
Good point,
It's
sir.
Cook County that comes once a week, maybe, if that, But, Jesus, yeah, those potholes, we definitely, I love to target those potholes. And I think that the community can get involved too. Because it takes what? Some sand and some water to fill a pothole, right? Some cement and some water.
He's like, I don't know.
Me personally, if I lived on the street with one pothole right there, I'd go out there and pour some sand in. It cost $3, right? Get some water, mix it all up. Now, you know what I'm saying? Why can't we pitch in together? Instead of just complaining about it.
I'm not filling no pothole on my street. That's what my taxes are for.
I'm just saying, I don't expect the women to go out and do it, but the guys can get out there and do something. Even if it's just one, it'll help a lot. You know what I'm saying? But,
Thank you, Mr. Beals. Mr. Noble.
And I already said, infrastructure. Our infrastructure will focus on a set of systems that support the daily life, including roads, utilities, and public service. Additional plans will be added to the Thornton Township. One of the things that we can do is we can get 3 grant writers. A lot of the communities outside of Thornton Township have full-time grant writers. They deal with just grants for beautifications of that community. When they put together that multi-million-dollar O'Hare expansion to expand the runways, it was just not for O'Hare Airport, it was for the surrounding communities as well. So when we have these grant writers that put in these grant money for us, it's going to benefit it and won't be on the labor or the taxes of the people that live within the 17 communities, excuse me. Now, when we talk about cleanup, we can collaborate with any municipality to do quarterly cleanup session within the community. Maybe every 3 months, the township get involved. We'll go to Dixmoor, we'll go to, Harvey, we'll go to Lansing, we'll go to South Holland, and we can collaborate a quarterly clean up the community. But we're going through the alleys, and we go through the avenues, and just to make a difference and working with the young people. One of the major issues that we had was the senior lawn care. It's deal with making sure that the seniors' lawn cares were manicured. Stan Brown was just over his head. He was a good guy. He was over his head. Leadership brings solutions, not problems. The people's choice for change, this is our proposal. The mayor in each municipalities of the 17 communities select 3 to 5 youth to work in collaboration with the Public Works Department. Now you got every city, I don't care regardless of whether it's Fort Heights, everybody got a Public Works Department. Well, the mayor selects 10 people to work in conjunction with the senior program in that community. They send the township the invoice and we satisfy it, and we do the oversight. Wouldn't that make sense? You're not spreading yourself out thin, and it does two things. It puts young people to work, and it helps bolster up the summer program in each 17 community. But now they got 10 young people there that's gonna get that $25 per lot, and then that will help strengthen and get them to working. So the township will be facilitating and help bolstering an economic stimulus within that Thornton Township just by organizing and sitting down with the mayor and say, tip 10 people. Plus what public work do is clean, cut grass, clean. We collaborate, we put that program together, and all 17 communities will have a program that's working, cutting, make sure the senior grass is cut. And we just take care of the influence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I like that plan. But can I?
Everyone's keeping
No,
time.
you cannot, no, you cannot, you have to go to Ms.
Oh, I'm
Wallace.
sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Moderator,
So
keeping things in
that's
order.
where I feel where workforce development is vital. We have had in the past in the high school systems where the high schoolers would be able to learn various trades that they can take beyond high school and make a sufficient amount of money to live off of. And if we can train these young adults to do, similar to what Mr. Nolan just said, to learn how to do horticulture, learn how to do gardening and things like that, learn how to fix potholes, learn the different materials that it takes to actually pave our roads. I believe that Thornton Township is responsible for 9 miles of roads in which we are responsible for. But we do have to work with our municipalities. It's vital. There's no other way around it. Yes, grant funding and things like that is going to be, it's very important. But we're also dealing with the soil, the water issues. Those are also concerns as it relates to even planting and growing trees. So those are things, again, that the young adults who has the strength and the availability to actually get out there and, like you said, do things like picking up the trash, mowing the lawn, things like that, things that we grew up doing. It's something I feel like we need to get back to doing. The other thing is that even with the seniors and utilizing their talent, because they were the ones who kind of taught us what to do as it relates to beautifying our homes. When we used to drive through the roads of the Southland, Harvey, Phoenix, where I live, South Holland, it was a beautiful place to live, okay? The seniors, they want something to do. They want something to do. So in my plan as a supervisor, my calendar is on my website, but it actually lists a gardening club in which they are responsible for handling certain blocks of certain communities, and actually helping to plant the flowers and helping to beautify the various gardens. I believe Nick mentioned about the fields. My grandfather had a field that he actually grew his own fruits and vegetables out of. And no, they weren't for sale. The farmer's market sounds like a good idea, but those are some of the things that we can also use to help keep our communities vibrant, but also the services and provide services and something to do for the seniors and the youth and training and workforce development. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, if any of the candidates have an addendum that they would like to add, this is the time. Due to time constraints, we have to limit your addendum to 1 minute.
Well, I think that we should, well, I'm tired of saying I think, I feel like I know at this point, we should try to find a way to alleviate paying anything extra. So I know there's a lot of young people out here that are they're into creative things, making music, getting into modeling or photography, with a studio. If we can establish a music studio where Our young people can come and utilize the music studio as long as they volunteer for certain services, such as cleaning the streets, or building garden beds, or helping out seniors at our events. They'll be more than happy to help out as long as they can get a couple hours of studio time, you know, to record their tracks or their albums or their EPs, or you know, doing their photo sessions. You know, that gives them something to do. That's constructive. You know, something to push them forward toward their passion. You know, to build who they want to be. And then again, we're not paying them.
We have to stop right there, Mr. Fields. That's the minute.
Okay.
I do agree with what Mr. Fields is saying. I was the director for community affairs for the Ministers Conference South Cook County. My job was to go to the county and work with the young people and to mentor them that this is not the end, but this is the beginning. And when you get out, come to the Ministers Conference, and we will work in conjunction with you as far as trying to find you some jobs. The church has to get more involved in working in the community and having someone to talk to, the council. Our young people are going through a lot of problems. They're going through a lot of issues. So we need to have, through the township, a ministerial program. We also need to restaff the mental health department. And we have someone that's a trustee, David Barnes, that is his forte, that's his background. He would definitely work into aid in that
Mr.
area.
Noel, we have to stop there.
Thank you.
Again, we have to stay focused as to what the township purpose really is. What is the purpose of the township? It's to fill the gaps from here to there. I lost my job, what to do now until I find employment. So our goal should be to focus on that and be proactive in that focus so that when people enter into the doors of the township, they know that we come with solutions. I am a servant leader, which is why I'm actually here today as a write-in candidate, okay? And I'm just asking people to just consider other options as it relates to servicing the community, meeting the needs of the citizens, and holding the elected officials accountable.
Thank you. This is the final infrastructure portion, and we will start with Ms. Walton. How would you engage current residents to invest in the future of Thornton Township and their respective communities?
Sure, so as mentioned before, on my website, LaShanteWalton.com, there is a calendar already designed for May for people within the community where they can engage in their community. Is that what you asked me? I'm sorry.
How would you engage current residents to invest in the future of Thornton Township and your respective communities?
Yeah, where the residents can invest into the community. And investing, that means just what I said before, where seniors are sharing their knowledge and they're pouring it into the youth, and they're actually putting the youth to work as a result. So these are some of the things that I feel as though the community at large, the families at large, can help in investing. I mentioned about the horticulture and things like that. Different programs, different services that, or talents that individuals have. I don't have the same talents as my neighbors, but different talents. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I would try to have
Thank you,
it.
Ms. Walton.
I discussed it before. How do we get people involved? The advisory board. That's what it's set up for. To join the advisory board, and that way your voice can be heard. So you got the legislative body that's collaborating with the advisory board. Because it's not about just us, it's about we, us, and our. That's why we established on our platform the advisory board to include everybody. Number two, we got the 50-50 program. 50% of all contractual work, vendor services come out of the Thornton Township. That's community engagement. People are working. Number two, if you live in the township, you work in the township. We adopt the same ordinance that they do in Chicago, New York, and every major city. We're not gonna let Indiana, we're not gonna let Chicago benefit off of our tax dollars. These are all indicators of community involvement. The people's choice to change, we have the answer. We have the answer. Look at our platform, study our platform. There's nobody out there that's putting out what we're putting out.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan.
Thank you.
Mr. Fields.
Future starts with our young people, okay? Because without them, there really is no future for Thornton Township. I'll probably be the only politician that can relate to our youth. You know, to be honest with you, I'm 33. I'm halfway to 66, but they still calling me young. But the community engagement app is going to be an app that's to put the complete Thornton Township in the palm of your hand, from grocery stores to new businesses to the services we offer to opportunities to events to emergency alerts. We're literally giving Thornton Township back in the hands of the communities. If you want to request a ride through transportation, if you want to get some certain documents or upload a document for whatever reason, you can do it directly through the app. There's no need to come up to the building unless you're not
That's your
texting.
minute, Mr. Fields.
That was a minute.
Time flies when you're
All right.
speaking.
The final category. This is a three-part question. And because it is a three-part question, I am going to give each candidate 3.5 minutes to answer. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And we will start with Mr. Fields. This is category beautification, revitalization, new developments. In the 17 municipalities of Thornton Township, there are numerous vacant lots, abandoned and dilapidated homes, as well as shuttered businesses. How do you intend to increase new development and revitalization? What kinds of businesses are you focusing on? And have you identified any locations for these prospective businesses?
Well, one, as I mentioned earlier, the Young Entrepreneurial Program is geared towards helping young entrepreneurs from A to Z and finding a business location for them. Now, the locations depend upon what we establish as a team. I can't do it without my team. We have to choose a location that works. We have to work with our local village presidents and mayors to see what establishments they're willing to work with. But as far as what type of businesses, we have to see as a community what we're lacking in. What don't we have? What do we need? What can we provide to our community? Who do we have to provide this that are in our community, and who's equipped or qualified to handle the task? You know, but I have a few ideas in mind. Like I stated before, we got a lot of young entertainers that don't have resources. I remember riding down the street, and I see, kids rapping to themselves, because they record music off their phone. But if we can put them somewhere where they can be creative, we can get them out the streets. We got a lot of TikTok dancers. They go in people's basements to do their dance. But why don't we have a place where they can come and get creative? I'd like to see that happen. But I'd like to see businesses get developed. I think that Thornton Township has the resources it needs to foster and community growth in entrepreneurship, starting with our youth and anyone else that's interested in establishing some type of organization. It should be focused on what we need and what we're lacking in our community. That's a start.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Mr. Nolan.
I think it's very important that whether you're on the municipal level, if you're on the state level, or you're on the county level, or you're on the state level, city, county, or state, each one of them having what they call an economic development department. It's important that the township supervisor be able to collaborate and work with those three entities as far as revitalizing the lots, any businesses that's up, maybe making a car wash. So it would basically be a collaboration. The Thornton Township is a large social service agency, but we always can deviate and work in another capacity. So my thing would to be, when I was a trustee for the Village of Riverdale, hey, I chair the economic development. I would have loved for someone to come in from the township and say, what can we do to work together as a team? On the county level, they got the land bank, they got millions of vacant lots under their jurisdiction and control. What can we do to connect that to the township? We can have a meeting, let's say, let's collaborate, and let's work together, and let's utilize these properties sitting dormant. On the state level, we can ask for some funding, put a proposal together, to put a job there, to put a technical school there. So there are many things we can do to stimulate the economy within Thornton Township. But you must be a leader that can sit down and know the issues and be able to put a plan together as a collective effort. And so that was areas I would love to work in, because I've been on the school board and the municipality, so I know how it works. So I can easily navigate a little bit more efficiently than my predecessor, because I held that position.
I agree, so yeah.
Now, the township has a lot of problems. I'm not going to be deviate, but I just want to make it. We got a problem with credit cards. And we really didn't touch on it. But when you look at the mismanagement, I looked at the village meeting the other day. They don't even know how to conduct a meeting. They didn't know how to call a motion, second a motion, discussion, roll call.
That's not true. That's
Everybody
cap.
was doing different things.
That's cap, man.
They are not equipped because of the fact that they have not went through the proper training and the proper development as city and know how to conduct a meeting. We normally go by Robert's Rules of Order, whether you want a village level, county level, that's how we normally conduct it. But these three individuals, it was a joke. I had to cut the TV on. So there's a lot of things that we're going to have to correct as a supervisor. One of the things we're going to do is dealing with hiring a procurement fiscal officer. What is that? His or her job is to manage all department heads' credit cards. Any credit card used will have to have approval by the PO, the procurement fiscal officer. That is his job. That's not the job of the supervisor. They get a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm just getting Can I get more minutes?
Oh, we gotta get this ball.
If you can repeat the question, if you can repeat the question,
No problem, Ms. Walton. In the 17 municipalities of Thornton Township, there are numerous vacant lots, abandoned and dilapidated homes, as well as shuttered businesses. How do you intend to increase new development and revitalization? What kinds of businesses are you focusing on? And have you identified any locations for these prospective businesses?
so the first thing that came to mind when you read the question was the county land bank, because they, again, are the holder of the largest portion of abandoned properties. As far as locations, one specifically, of course, I would say is Phoenix. I believe that it's a small town. We have the highest taxes raised throughout the state. I believe it was 110%. It was one of the highest, actually I believe is the highest in the state. And then also with Dixmoor, which is another community that years ago, I believe, I'm kind of dating myself, but Wyman Gordon was there, and we had the steel mills were still around. So again, it was jobs. you know, so we're kind of getting back to the same crust of the matter. We have to find jobs and resources. Businesses specifically, no, I don't know of them as far as what type specifically to bring into these areas, but I do know that having the Amazon fulfillment centers come to Markham and Matson was a very good thing for the community at large, and it provides a tremendous amount of jobs. And so those are some of the things that I feel like we can benefit from as it relates to filling those gaps and patching some of the holes and knocking down some of the debris so that we can kind of begin that process of dealing with the infrastructure and clearing out what the old and bringing in the new. There's going to be some things that are going to come up just naturally as it relates to infrastructure that we may not have even heard of, you know, with the advent of the online, the website, the web. Yeah, there are going to be things that are actually going to come up. So again, I don't have the exact types of businesses, but I'm open to speak with the various municipalities and again work with them to with the encouragement of having many businesses of all different kinds come to the communities to provide jobs.
Does anyone have an addendum to this question?
Speaking of Amazon Fulfillment Center and Wind Creek Casino, I'm glad they're here in our community, but I think that maybe we should try to talk to someone and see if they can hire a significant amount of employees from within our community, considering they're in our community. And I think that maybe Thornton Township could see how we could benefit our constituents and say, hey, maybe a bingo prize could be a couple dollars to Wind Creek, or you know what I'm saying, or an Amazon gift card or a few. Maybe we can get a couple sponsorships from them as well. So that's just to add. I think those are good. They need to prioritize the community that they're in, though. That's just my take on that.
I would like to add something as a moderator. I know that's not what we usually do, but I would like to say that Dr. Keisha McCaskill had an event for Wind Creek Casino here in Harvard, a job fair, and Mayor Chris Clark shut it down.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the
Wow.
truth. So
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
that's some of the corruption we want to fight against out here in the South Suburbs.
It's crazy.
The TIP, tax increment finance. Your taxes go to the TIP in order to build jobs and infrastructure. But the community at large do not participate in bringing proposals to use their own TIP dollars. So you'll have an Amazon that'll come in, or a big box store come in and say, hey, we know you guys got $500 million in your TIP. We want to use that money. It has to go through the board. My thing is, charity begin at home and go abroad. We have to have a program where the people that are paying into the TIP can benefit off of it. But you have to become savvy in the tax code and in your TIP dollars. And once you know where to go, then you go to the city. Hey, we got X amount of TIP money. I want to start a beauty salon. I want to start a car wash. I want to start a bar. Whatever business you want to start, that's what that money is there for. Your TIP, tax increment finance, that you pay into. But other people know the laws, and they come in there and say, hey, we want to be able to have nothing's free. That I'm guarantee you that casino is using the TIP dollars. Out there in dealing with Amazon, they utilize your tax dollars. And when the tax dollars dry up, a lot of time they leave. That's what happens. So the city is funding a lot of these programs. But the people behind the curtain do not come out there and explain these things to the average person, the average taxpayer. So they don't even know that that's what it's for. Thank you.
Be fair now with the moderation.
I don't have anything to add.
All right.
Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, can we please give all of our candidates a round of applause? Oh, no, that's what's coming up next. Yes. Now, we are opening up the floor to all of the residents in the room to ask any questions that you would like to ask our candidates.
I have one.
Go ahead.
It's a two-parter though. My name is Keisha Richardson. I am candidate for trustee of Thornton Township. We talked about resources and being a social service agency, right? So the two-part question is more so about outreach. We know that we have a low voter turnout, right? How are the residents going to even know about the programs? How are they going to know to come out and vote against, these politicians that aren't doing anything for us? How are they going to know about the programs that we have in Thornton Township? A lot of them have no idea. So what are your plans as far as outreach, as far as voter turnout, getting people more involved, and letting them know what programs we have in the township?
Can I start? I honestly think that we need to expand our community relations department because we should be reaching out to our constituents rather than them coming to us all the time. The community engagement app. We could incorporate ways that we can reach out to our community, not just through the app, but sending out something to let them know about the many services that we offer. Now, eventually, as they start to get used to the app and then what we're mailing out, because I like to mail out a quarterly newsletter that says, hey, this is what's going on, download the app. That way we can save money on printing. We have to keep a strict divide between politics and Thornton Township because lawfully there's things that we can't promote as a township, but putting the services out there alone, I think is very important to let people know more about Thornton Township and the services that we do offer.
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
Well, I got a different perspective. The township can sponsor a civic training. We had it in high school. You had Civics 101, where they talked about government, how to run for office, what is expected from your local government. I would like to institute within the township, civic training for our youth. That's number one. Number two, I would like to have an ambassador from the township to visit the school board, the library board, the park district, and the municipality, and speaking on behalf of the supervisor. We got these services. When they do the Q&A, that's when they put it out there. You cover everything. Everybody has full knowledge, and this would be a position that we can create to get more people involved. And another thing we can do, we've had meetings outside of Riverdale, outside the school district. We said we're gonna have a meeting so-and-so, so-and-so. As long as we got the clerk and everybody there, we can have a meeting anywhere. So the other areas not being engaged, like closing,
Mr. Nolan.
burning.
Right there. Ms. Walton.
Yes, so with getting the word out, the one thing that I emphasized was, of course, working with the municipalities. But I believe it was Nate, you mentioned about the churches. We cannot forget about the churches. Because it was always traditionally known that we can go to the church house and find out what's going on. And I would say that that's still the same even today. Having someone actually from the township come out and actually remind some of the residents about different programs and services. But one thing I know for sure, seniors love the phone. And they're the ones that still have the landlines. So as long as you call them, many of them, they're gonna pick up that phone. So, and it's good to actually have a person on the phone who can just gently remind them about various programs and services that are offered through the township. Because you never know what type of predicament they're in. Having been in social services case.
Thank you, Ms. Walton.
I have a question.
Yes, and I'll come to you.
So my question is, how do you guys feel about municipal or elected officials having multiple positions? How can they focus on can they focus on being the township supervisor and the state rep and the committee? How do you see yourself? Would you also go for other positions if you were the supervisor?
Well, can I address that? First of all, it is against the laws here in Illinois to hold two positions in a tax and bond.
Somebody going to jail.
Now, when I was on the school board and I ran for the village municipality for Riverdale, somebody said, you can't, I got a letter from the attorney general, you gotta give up one spot. So I had to give up the school board in order to work as a municipal official. But the laws are not being enforced because the Democrats are in power. Now you got me, so I give up one. So it is against the law to have two elected positions in one taxing body.
Unless you're okayed by the state. Which,
Yeah, Mike Manning, approved by him.
You see now that worked out with Miss Enyard, the mayor, and also the township supervisor.
Right.
And then we still got other examples here in Calumet City, and also now we're going into the same thing with Mr. Harris running for two different offices. Or being one, and he'll be okayed through the state also.
Right. So if you Google it, it's plain as day. You cannot hold two elected positions in one taxing body because you're going to favor one over the other. That's pretty much
Conflict of interest.
It is state law unless the governor allows it, and unfortunately that shouldn't happen.
So it sounds like once you're elected into the position, then they'll come and try to take you down for.
It all depends
who you are.
I wish he raised his hand.
I actually, I'm not privy to the law on that. However, one of the things that's most known as in today's times is job stacking. That's kind of like a term that's used where you have multiple jobs at the same time. Like you said, you're going to have one that's going to take precedence over the other. However, this is just, for me, just a continuation of my career. On my website, I don't even have a means for anyone to donate to my campaign. I'm literally a servant looking to give all of the talents, knowledge, and information that I've consumed over the course of the last 25 years, all across the state of Illinois, from the North Shore all the way down to Springfield, and bring it to Thornton Township in this one position, this one capacity of the township supervisor. If I had the resources on my own in order to bring everything to the township, I would do that, but I don't have all of those resources. I'm aware that the government, they can assist quite a bit with that, and that's the one thing that I want to do in that position.
Thank you. Next question.
Good afternoon. My name is Glennis Watson.
that's
I'm a resident
Glennis.
of Harvey. And my question is in two parts. The first part is for Ms. Walton. Why didn't you go through the conventional route to be on the ballot? That's one. And then for all candidates, what is your educational and work or volunteer experiences that qualify you for this Thornton Township supervisor's position?
Thank you, very good question. So, I actually did go through the traditional route. I had over 1,500 signatures on my ballot to actually take on the position. And I was met with a lot of things that challenged me. I'm not by any means very wealthy, but I could not fight those attorneys. Point blank, I just did not have the resources to come in and fight the attorneys on keeping my name on the ballot. So that is the reason why I had to move as a write-in candidate if I felt that compelled to bring this knowledge and information that I have to the township. I have a degree in business healthcare administration from Governor State University. I am a veteran. I retired as the first lieutenant U.S. Army and National Guard, and Air Force National Guard, and I am a nurse. So I do have the compassion for the individuals and the people out here. I am a lifelong resident of Thornton Township. So again, I kind of dated myself throughout the course of this conversation, but I've been here and I want to see change happen in our community.
Good job.
Thank you, Ms. Walton. Mr. Nolan?
I'm an account manager for Azar Transportation Company, and I've been doing that for several years. And I'm also a 40-year-plus resident within the Thornton Township. And she asked the question, what makes you different? What makes you special? What are your qualifications? When I ran for the school board, I was successful. I was able to rise to rank to be vice president, but you have to go through different classes. You have to go through certification. So that way, that even though you got the title, the certification makes sure that you're equipped in order to govern. So that's when you have the different conferences that you go to, dealing with state law, dealing with local law, what you can do, what you can't do. That's why you're obligated to go to the conferences. When I was a municipal official working, I went and got my certification as a municipal official. I got certified. I went through the classes, and they gave you a certificate, and I posted up on the web. So these things get you qualified because you got the title. Now you got to get the certification. So I was able to get the certification, and on the school board, I received 3 awards: the Excellence Award, Community Service Award, and the Academic Excellence Awards for some of the kids in the community. I host what they call Community Night, where I would have 150 to 200 young boys and girls who would come on Thursday just to engage and just to have a safe area in order to socialize, in order to be there and be themselves. And it was very successful. It was so successful that the city of Riverdale gave me a resolution thanking me for this community night, and they appreciated me doing things outside of the box. I continue to work with the county. I continue to work with young people. Matter of fact, we got a young man on here that's on my ticket. I think he's 34, 35, 40 years old. I'm making me a nice joint. So we want to have a different variety that I was looking for that sits on the board. You got to have the younger generation. You got to have the middle-aged generation, and you got to have those that have the wisdom. So you can have education. You can be smart, but you lack wisdom. Wisdom comes with time. Wisdom gonna tell you, no, don't go that way. So, I can go anywhere. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Well, you go on there. We're gonna see how this gonna turn out. So I try
Thank you, Mr. Nolan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Fields?
Okay, so the qualifications to run for office for Thornton Township Supervisor, you have to be at least 18 years of age. You must be a United States citizen, and you must be a registered voter of Thornton Township. I get that people want a almost superhero to represent them. But unfortunately, superheroes aren't real. I mean, this is real life. You know, we have to look for someone that at least has invested into our community and knows our community already in Thornton Township. Not just outside of Thornton Township, but inside Thornton Township. I've spent almost half of my life working for Thornton Township. It was the first job I've ever had. For more than 14 years, I've been invested in Thornton Township. Under the greatest to ever do it, Frank Zuccarelli. And despite what people are saying about, or have said about him, I know a totally different person, a real human being. Our relationship was totally different. And I don't tell people this, but Frank got a kidney transplant. And he needed someone there to help him. I was that person that he saw something in. When I did an interview on the news about our ZAP department when I was 18. He saw my potential when I was the only one to jump up to do that interview. He said, hey, I'm gonna talk to your dad and see if we can work something out because I need a young man I can trust. I was that young man that he could trust. I went with him to get his kidney transplant. I was shooting Frank with insulin when he needed, when his sugar got too high. I was feeding him orange juice when his sugar was too low and he couldn't focus. I was right there. You know, but I took pride in holding Frank up and making sure he had what he needed to do, not only because it kept me with a job, but because there was a lot of other people that he took care of. Not just in Thornton Township, but at South Suburban College, where he was a board president. I saw that in my heart to make sure he was good because I took pride in facilitating the business of the people. Sometimes I would make executive decisions on his behalf because he couldn't do it. I didn't tell nobody that, but yeah, I did. I did. I gotta put it out there. It's the truth. You know? But I'm 33. I'm well over 18. I have more experience than any of the other candidates within Thornton Township. So, I mean, I get that, you know, you guys have years and years. But we gotta do something about these youth. They not listening to our older government officials. They don't care what y'all got to say, to be honest. You can say the most beneficial things to their lives and they will let it go on one ear and out the other. But if somebody that look like them walk up to them and tell them the same thing, they're ready to join the camp. I mean, I feel like I'm here, I'm listening. I've been to all the board meetings. I was there when the fight broke out. I'm a listening ear, and I'm here. I'm not shying away or running away from what people are telling me. So please, community, if you're willing to talk to me and work with me, we can figure this thing out. Because I know right and wrong. And I don't want to do it. I'm not trying to get FBI subpoena. I'm not trying to go to the feds. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Fields. We got time to take one more question.
Do any of you have campaign collateral?
I'm sorry.
Do any of you have campaign collateral?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna limit your answer to 30 seconds, because we gotta get up
Yes.
out of here. And we're gonna take these last two questions. I'm gonna do ladies first.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. Couple of questions. Well, I have a two-part question. Well, one comment and then a question. I like the idea of the app, Nate Fields. However, there are a lot of people that just don't engage with technology like that. So I just don't feel that that is going to yield the engagement that you're envisioning, because people just, some aren't savvy in that way and some just don't partake in that kind of communication. So that's a concern of mine, the actual impact that's going to really have on the demographic of people that it's intended for. That's one thing. Two, as a Thornton Township resident, I'm sorry, my name is Alicia Nicole, I feel disenfranchised a lot because there's so much emphasis on the youth and on the seniors, and there's never any target action items for people like me that don't qualify for some of the services that are income-based. I'm not a senior, and I'm not a youth. So, like, what do you, all of you, like, what is your plan to engage us who are, you know, taxpayers, and just really don't benefit directly from your targeted initiatives? Thank you.
No, I want to talk about one answer.
You can take the last one first, the disenfranchised feeling I have. Yeah.
That's the reason why we created the advisory board. So I would love for you to join that, and because that can be a component that we can work on your behalf. We're not trying to leave nobody out. So I would love for you to get on the advisory board. You can address those issues because we want to get involvement. We want engagement. So I had to create a mechanism to be able to host that. Now let me deal with working with the youth. I'm the only one that's got that credentials through going through the training for the county to work with the youth. I work with the youth. I was able in Thornton and Harvey to stop gang use. They call Mr. Nolan. They call me an OG. I come from Cabrini Green. I know about working with the youth. I know about the street organizations. But you wouldn't know that because none of these politicians have been down to 26 in California. Let's keep it in mind. So I know how to maneuver, okay? I can make up some phone calls, I can have 100 young men out there because I gave them that love, and I gave them jobs and everything that they needed. So I am committed to you.
Ms. Walton.
The first part of your question was about the app. I personally am not really an app person, so I get what you're saying. However, I do see the benefit. And I do feel as though utilizing apps that are already being used, such as Nextdoor and some of the other apps, just playing or utilizing those services or those apps that are already there and available, and just having them, including more of our information. As it relates to the average citizen in Thornton Township, I am you. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been in that predicament. If you research me, of course, you would probably learn more. And it is something that is overlooked, but it goes back to one of the questions that was asked early on, engagement, community engagement. Having an outlet where we can go and we can sit under the umbrellas and sip on the Mai Tai. You know, where we can actually begin to know one another for just as neighbors. You know, just as you know, just sitting around and having a cup of coffee. So those are some of the things, again, going back to economic development, beautifying our communities, making it safe, where we can kind of engage and share, and then also implementing even some of the apps that are out there with talk therapy and you know, support for citizens beyond just what the social entity of the township brings.
Thank you, Ms. Walton. Our final.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, so Bishop, sorry if I misinterpreted what I meant about the app. Now, it's going to be an app for sure, but we're not going to get rid of the traditional way of doing things. We got to slowly move into this, okay? So we're not completely getting rid of the old way, or the old ways, because I know we have seniors we have to cater to as well. They may not be tech savvy. Now, as far as the middle-aged constituents that may not benefit from the services that we offer, we hold events. I want you to let us know, you know, a community let us know what you would like to see inside of your community. Okay, more of. Maybe if you want something for teenagers to get involved in, if you want to get to know your police better, maybe we can have some type of reform and bring the police in so people can say, hey, I want to rate this police officer 1 through 10, and this is my reason why. So we'll know our police officers that's supposed to be protecting us. Because I know there's some officers in our community that don't even care. But we got to put them on Front Street because they're dealing with our kids that's out here at these parties. But we have to first know what you would like to see. Because I can't, although I'm a homeowner and I'm a taxpayer, I can say what I want, but you may not want the same thing. You know, because there's a side of rocks sitting on the expressway that I kind of want to grab some of the rocks and put them in this ditch that's in my front yard. You may not need that. So I have to know what you want. You know, that's just being honest. So.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much, candidates. And our final question for Mr. Ryan Sinwelski.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan. I'm a Harvey resident and the Harvey Historical Society. So this question is from Pedro, who's also a Harvey resident. He's been watching. He said, how can the township help me to buy a vacant lot next to my house? I filled out 3 letters of interest to Harvey City Hall. The city doesn't want to sell it to me or is not interested in selling it. So then I'm going to add to that because it's related. Basically, what can you do to help stop corrupt politicians such as our mayor here in Harvey? I've been arrested in a public meeting here. I was just arrested at a public meeting in Dixmoor. When we, as concerned citizens, have gone to various politicians, typically we're told, you know, they can't do anything. We do understand the township is not directly responsible for any of these politicians. However, what can you do? Because we're always being told by state and federal officials and county officials what they can't do. Well, what can you do to help with all these issues? And Pedro's example is just very clear, right? All he wants is to have a lot next to his house. But because the mayor has his own corrupt agenda, he can't even get that. So what can you do, you know, to help?
think we could potentially, like I said before, expand community relations. We have to get more into the community so we can figure out what's actually going on. Now, we could work with certain news media or create our own media team that goes out and interview residents and go to, ribbon cutting events or events happening throughout Thornton Township. Maybe we can report on these things and bring light to the situations at hand so that we can hold these mayors accountable for what they're doing to our constituents in our communities. Yeah, I think that's very unfortunate that we have people out here that's trying to stop business for the average resident that's interested in enhancing their own community. Because we have politicians that wanna hold it for something their own political.
And I would like to chime in real quick with that question. That was a very good question, Riley. And one of my questions that I asked for the forum also said, what can you do to engage current residents and investing in Thornton Township? And that is one example where you can. If there's an empty lot to somebody's home and they want to buy it, let them buy it because they are investing in the community. So the fact that we have mayors that are stopping things of this nature from taking place, these are the individuals that we need to get them up out of here. All right? Mr. Nolan, continue.
Any property vacant lot, he may not own it. I would go down there with the address to the Fifth Circuit in Markham and pull the taxes and find out who's the owner.
Yeah, the Cook County Recorder of Deeds.
Right.
So you should be able to find out.
Right. Find out who's the actual owner. They may be in tax arrearages. You can petition the tax court to get property. You can get a tax deed. So my thing is that would be the first ground zero. I would go to the Fifth Circuit, go there, give them the address, and they'll tell you who the actual owner of that property is. And if they're interested in uploading that property, then they'll give you what they call a quick claim deed. Now, any liens and fines, you gotta carry that.
I believe this is a city-owned property. City of Harding owns hundreds of properties.
Right.
So in other words, it's not the owner, but the city will refuse to sell.
Right.
You know,
I don't know if you can help that.
yeah.
Vote them out.
My thing is, as it relates to that, I'm with him on that. I'm really kind of tired of everybody passing the buck. I don't have the responsibility. That's not what I do. Let me give you another number and you wind up calling 10, 18, 20 different people and still not having a solution to your problem. But I do like the idea of protests. And I feel like that is something that we have not done consistently on a regular, consistent basis as it relates to and friendly protests. I'm not saying, tearing up the stores or anything like that, but where citizens who live on that block can support, is it Pedro? Pedro in that action. Write the letters to Springfield. Write the letters to your congressman, you know what I'm saying, or woman, and say, hey, you know what, this is what we need. This is something, it's grassroots as it may be sometimes, but at the end of the day, you have to actually incorporate the help that you do have in order to actually see change.
Civil disobedience.
There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let's give each one of our candidates a wonderful round of applause. I would like to thank Mr. Ray Fields, Mr. Richard Nolan, Ms. LaShante Walton for coming out. And when you go to the polls, pay attention to who is not in here that wants your vote, but could not come out to hear your concerns. Thank you, and may the good Lord continue to bless and keep each and every one of you. Good day.
Thank you.
Okay, so they're done, but there's gonna be some after talk.
Odyssey Lounge.
The Odyssey Lounge, okay.
I mean, I don't want to hold anybody else up. I'm the pastor's trying.
Right.
Yeah, I did see a chair drain up.
So what I want to know is economics is really important.
Right.
I want from 2024, one township, tell me one projection that you saw that was bad, and which one you change. I'm quoting you when I need that number.
At this point, I really not focused on that. That's something I'll look into and I'll get back to you on that. Right, but if you talk about finances, you gotta be able to, and I didn't get a chance to do my proposal, because it shows some time.
You gotta break down that P&L.
Right, I have to look back.
Can you send me something?
I'll send it to you. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I don't But I want to schedule
Hi, I just want, first of all, introduce myself, Alicia Nicole, and you're on, I am recording. And I want to say thank you for your service, and very nice to meet you. A lot of people were wondering who you were, on my platform.
Excuse me, everyone. Again, I just want to thank you for allowing us to service the community. Thank you for coming. Also, I just want to let you know that you're always welcome to come worship with us. Every Sunday here from 12:30 to 1:30. 12:30 to 1:30. Also, every third Sunday, except for in April, because that'd be Easter Sunday. We have a community breakfast where you can come, worship, and we have breakfast downstairs. Completely free.
Free?
Completely free. So come, have a little bite to eat.
Hi.
I give the word downstairs, we fellowship, and then we go home. So that's every third Sunday.
I'm uploaded to YouTube too, but what can you watch?
I will say many of my members are Thornton residents. So don't just come to church when you're trying to get a vote. And that happened. So come worship with us, have a good time, praise the Lord.
Thank you.
And, hope out, so the Lord touches your heart when you do get elected.
So I just wanted to ask,
The Bible does say that the government rests on who? The shoulders of Jesus. Okay? So as you go forth, whatever elected positions, always keep Jesus in your heart. Because Jesus will help you take care of people.
Amen.
And the Holy Spirit will convict you when those moments come that's going to try to sway you over.
Yeah. So, first of all, again, thank you for showing up because I didn't know who you were. So it was nice to see that there was another write-in and to even know who it is. Hold on.
One more thing. You actually hear my voice without it.
Nate.
Excuse my manners because I do want to thank my friend, Pastor Marlon Branch of New Harvest AME Church for allowing us to have this forum here. All right? So let's give him a round of applause. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for showing up. How you think it went? It's your first one? Okay. And it's okay not to know everything, right? It's okay not to know everything, yes, but just be open to the information that we're given. But so we're from here. Are you doing anything else? Any other show or well until the election? Is it Thursday? Okay, I heard about that one. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I do look forward to going to that forum as well.
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to be something new.
Okay.
Pretty new to the forum.
Well, you got this one under your belt, so that's a good thing. So just build from this one and take it with you to the next one. Thank you. I know it's kind of loud in here, but so I was going to say, do you have a slate?
I don't.
You don't?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It is just myself, actually, as the township supervisor. And like I said, I've kind of been following along the whole time. I've been to mainly more type meetings. However, I was didn't participate in a few things that Dalton did have in support of the situation that they were facing.
So is it important, do you think it's important to come to the Thornton Township meetings? Sorry.
It absolutely is important.
Okay.
Thornton Township needs.
Will we see you at more, or?
You definitely will see me at more,
Mhm.
and hopefully at it come up.
Okay, okay, sure.
I am, like I said, aware of writing candidate,
Mhm.
Shines Walton. But my goal is to be a voice for the people.
Okay.
Getting what they need
Mhm.
out of the township.
Mhm.
That's just it.
Sure. Thank you. Will you be participating in the Thursday forum that Nate just spoke about
I'm
at
not,
the Lansing Journal?
I'm not aware of that one as
Mhm.
yet. I have a busy schedule, but I definitely will try to participate in it.
Okay, because people kind of, especially now that you've announced your yeah, and they kind of want to know who you are, want to be able to ask questions, yeah, get answers. But thank you very. It was a pleasure. Yeah, Mr. Nolan. Thank you again. Thank you for that answer to my question. I thought that was a good answer with the advisory board, because that's been an ongoing issue with me, feeling left out of the process. And I'm a taxpayer. My taxes are steadily increasing. So, it's disheartening to feel like we're not benefiting from many of those resources. And there are quite a bit. Mm-hmm.
That's why I want you to be a part of the advisory board.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it the chairman.
Y'all hear that online? Okay. Well, yeah. But there's other people like me. Mm-hmm.
I'm here to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about individual success, but community and collective success.
Mm-hmm.
I work for you.
Right. I like that.
We can work together. I have no problem. But these other politicians, they want to engage. They want to talk.
Okay.
Put your foot on their backside.
Well, one thing too, and I just want to say I will be stealing a phrase that you said. I love the not me, myself, and I, but the we, us, and our. So I appreciate that perspective. That's very important because we haven't seen a lot of that in Thornton Township. It has been the me, myself, and I and my crew, so self-serving.
You got to get them out.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yes. I really want to say something to her. I don't quite know her, but she says she's Glennis. Hey, I always kind of miss you. I'm always doing this. And I never get to get my hug and talk to you. We have to exchange numbers. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me put you in. Well, I'm gonna give you mine because I'm doing this right now. And let me whisper this time. Oh wow.
I was on the school board for 2 terms.
It starts with the school board.
Yeah, because I definitely want to keep in touch and do more. And I always see you kind of in passing, and then I'm doing this, so I don't get to talk to you. And I'm sorry, my name is Alicia.
Nice to meet you, Karen. And so, is it Alicia Nicole?
Yes, it is.
On Facebook. Because I want to send you a friend request or messages. I want that on my page. But I'm Karen McGee.
Oh, okay, Karen McGee. Okay.
So I'll send you
Sure.
because I want to.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Sure. Well, thank you. Glennis. Yes, the better. Yes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sorry. Alicia, Nicole, I don't really know you, but I want to know you.
My name is Robert Hardaway.
Robert Hardaway?
Yes.
Okay, likewise.
Find me on Facebook.
I will. Robert Hardaway?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I would definitely love to do that. Thank you.
Right.
Oh,
That's
Robert
me.
Hart. Okay,
Yep.
okay, I'll make sure.
I'm also a travel business owner.
Are you?
And travel consultant.
'Cause I'm looking to go somewhere.
I'm getting ready to go to Thailand. I'm leaving April 24th going to Thailand, so I'm gonna be there a week.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Is a week enough
I
time?
travel all.
Because Thailand is a lot.
I'm going to Phuket, but I'm gonna try to make it up to Bangkok while I'm there. So we'll see.
Oh, I definitely got it because I'm telling you, I'm overdue for an international trip. I'll take a domestic one.
Let me know.
I will.
I got you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we are out of here, y'all. Thank you for watching. This was important. I'm glad I came. I've never heard Richard Nolan speak. So thank you guys. I will see y'all, and I will be uploading this to YouTube as well. So please, no one try to do that before me, because I will be uploading this to YouTube. for the people that watch there. So thank you guys, and you guys have a great afternoon.
All right. There we go, everybody. What'd you think about it? I thought it was I'm glad they did it. It wasn't produced as well as I would like it to have been. I would love everybody to have been mic'd up and some microphones in the aisle so people can speak up. And I would love for there to have been a ton more people there. But for the most part, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I think everybody left from there, Nate, Nolan, as well as Miss Walton. They both left with some W's. I think they also left with some L's as well. And I mean, I hate the fact that the candidate that's more likely going to win doesn't come to these things, doesn't come to the town hall meetings and so on and so forth. But in your mind, if you don't mind, in the comments, who do you think, if you had to pick one of those three, you must pick one of the three that's on the counter. I mean, that was on the dais right there. And you can't say none of the above, and you can't say I abstain. You have to vote for one of them. Who would you vote for today? Just those three, Ms. Walton, Nolan, and Nate Fields. Who would you vote for today if you had to vote for one of those three? Even though you're probably an undocumented Dalton resident or Thornton resident. Well, there you go. That would be the right answer. But yeah. Okay. You know what? Let me make a poll question as well. I should have did that. Should have had it already ready. See, producer Jason would already had that ready if he was thinking. All right, let me stop this one. Thank y'all so much for liking the video. Thank you all for tapping in with us today. This has been a lot of fun. It was unplanned, but ooh. All right, we got Nate, Nolan, and Nolan, not Nolan. And her last name is Walton. So I'm just gonna go with Walton because I don't want to butcher her. Let's go. I'm gonna put Fields on here so everybody. All right, let's go. Yeah, I agree. He's probably going to win, but they don't come to the meetings. Tiffany doesn't come to the meeting, and she wants people to write her in as a write-in candidate. I mean, at least the other write-in candidate actually came. So, like, who would you vote for if you had to pick? If you had to vote for somebody on here? Looks like a lot of Nate supporters. Okay, all right, I see y'all. I see you. All right, Lady Walton get a little bit of love. Okay. No, Pickett said Lady Walton getting a little love from him. Of course, this would be the right answer. Of course, Jason. Of course. Or maybe me and Jason House. I don't know. That's Dalton. But looks like about 50% of y'all are. It's going back and forth. I give it a little bit of time. Y'all go ahead and vote on that one. Who would you pick if you had to pick somebody that was on the dais today? Again, Nate Fields, Nolan Richards, or Richard Nolan, please forgive me. And is it Lynette Walton? I don't want to butcher her name, but y'all know what I'm doing. And I did drop her link in the chat as well. So if you want to check out her platform, all that kind of good jazz, just be nosy and want to know what's happening, feel free to do that as well. All right, what we got? Looks like a lot of people voting. What's going on? No apologies, just me. What you got? I ain't never seen her means either. And to me, I think that's disrespectful that you want people to vote for you, but you don't come to the meetings. And you're going to be the township supervisor. You're going to be the supervisor. Come to the meetings. I mean, when you going to come to meetings when you become the supervisor? When are you going to start coming to the meetings? Okay. The polling seems to be relying on a church vote and the personal recommendations of the Clean House movement. I don't know. But see, I think, and I know he's doing stuff that we don't see online. I have heard that Napoleon is out there, glad hand and shaking hands and kissing babies. No problem there. But coming to the board meeting wouldn't be a bad thing. They got a board meeting coming up this Thursday, the 25th. Wouldn't be bad for you to show up. That's all. if you plan to be the supervisor, it would be kind of behoove you to actually come to the meeting. And I did drop the link for the Lansing Journal right here, so you can kind of see what the Thornton Township meeting is supposed to be about. So it looks like most of you all were enamored with Mr. Nate. So Nate is the current moment has 53%. Nolan has 25, and then Lady Walton has 25 as well. Thank y'all so much for the green hearts in the chat, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I need to get ready because I have to deacon in the morning. So let me go get ready. So everybody have a fantastic night. I'll see you all real soon. Until then, grace and peace. Take care.